What is up, fellow YouTubers? It's your sexy goth bad boy coming back at you with another cooking video. Spark up an NXT. So I want to show you cool cobras how to make a candy calzone. Hopefully it plays out. If I play my cards just right, I think it will do just fine. Did some cleaning. Got all my shit looking nice. Just getting the recipe out there is good, but making sure your shit looks good when you do it is just as important. It's not going to take too long to heat up. I'm only going to need the stove for the bacon and to bake the actual pizza. So, by now you already know. You want to make the perfect pizza, you got to get the oven on the preheat to 420. Once you have your oven set to 420 degrees preheat, set your pizza for 18 minutes, and I guarantee you'll get the perfect pizza every time. The same applies for calzones. Now, if I'm putting bacon in this delicious bastard, then I'm gonna have to use the oven to cook up some bacon. So I'll get the oven on the preheat and turn the stove on so that way we can get our bacon cooked. Turn the stove on to 8, that way it's not on high. Let it heat up for a second. We'll be using Oscar Mayer thick cut bacon for this recipe. Use whatever kind of bacon you like. A candy calzone. This definitely sounds interesting, doesn't it? Just the title alone, it's like instant clickbait. Now here's the thing, Slick. Because of all the ingredients going into this calzone, there will be no seasoning involved on the bacon or the crust. Just a simply delicious, cheesy, chocolatey mess. Yeah. While the Hampow video response uploads, which I entitled Response Vid, short, sweet, to the point. We'll get to work on this here cooking video. We're gonna need a small plate to plate up the bacon. Whenever you're putting bacon into a calzone or on a pizza or on a burger, it has to be fully cooked. That's just standard health procedure. stove, preheated, ready to rock, ready to roll. Also, I bought a bag of Flamin' Hot Nacho Doritos, the new flavor. I'll be doing a review on those soon enough. But we can use the seasoning container to prop up the camera right quick. Now that our stove is heated up, let's get to cooking that bacon for our recipe. We'll use a small plate to put our bacon on when it's fully cooked. That way we can just, you know. A candy calzone. What madness is this? We'll start off with 2 slices of thick cut bacon from Oscar Mayer. And the first thing you're going to want to do for this recipe is get you some bacon. I'm going to cook it up in the pan here. Ooh. Lay off them cigars for a minute. Now we got 6 mini pieces of bacon ready to go. I want to wash my hands right quick. Now that we got our bacon cooking in the pan nice and delicious, I'm going to put the rest of this back in our fridge. Set this to the side. This will be our nice clean pizza stone for making this delicious calzone. But while we're waiting for that, while we're waiting for that, I'm going to cook this delicious bacon up. All 6 of these mini pieces are going to be put onto this plate. This is going on our calzone. This is the only time we're going to need to use the oven for this calzone, other than baking it in the oven. We got the oven preheated. We got it turned on to 8. This cooking video is looking great. Alright. Let's get a close-up of that bacon action. Now, if you wanted to make this calzone for your sweetheart on Valentine's Day, you certainly could. Depends on if they like the ingredients being used in it. This is definitely an interesting interpretation of what I call a calzone. Some of you may think, oh, that looks nasty, I'd never eat that. Some of you may think, you know what, I'll give it a try. Really, it depends on your personal opinion. Oh, look at that bacon cook. Isn't that sexy? I might have drinking just a little bit of vodka and Monster before making this cooking video, but that's alright. I'm 27. You don't have to drink to cook, but it's Saturday, it's the weekend. Gotta have a little bit of fun every now and then. I love the smell of bacon. It's just a delicious smell. Yippers. Listen to that sizzle. Yeah, I definitely got to slow down on the cigars for a minute because them fuckers are kicking my ass. You get the smokiness from the bacon, which normally doesn't bother me, but I've been smoking cigars the last couple of days. And, yeah, I don't mind. I like cigars, but, you know, at some point you got to cut off for a little bit. That's just being responsible, you know. It's no different with alcohol. That piece is done. That piece is done. These two pieces are done. Again, you want to make sure your bacon is fully cooked before you add it to your calzone. It'll cook a little bit more when it bakes into it. But if it's fully cooked, right when you add it to the calzone, then it's safe to eat. Did some dishes earlier, and when the stove is still pretty hot on the top, you can take a wet rag and get 95% of the grease off your stove. This will make cleaning it 1,000 times easier. It's a very dangerous but very effective life hack. This will make cleaning your stove 10 bazillion times easier. Just a little precaution. So that way, let that cool off. Okay, now that we got our delicious bacon, excuse me. Now that we got our delicious bacon cooked up, now it's time to assemble this here calzone. I'll set the camera down against the seasoning container, right here against our nice and clean piece of stone. We'll get this sumbitch assembled. Pillsbury thin crust for our calzone. We're going to need a pocket knife to open it. We got a shotgun shell. It's also a pocket knife. Kind of looks like a shotgun shell and textured like it, but it's really just a pocket knife. Go ahead and stab it right there on that silver line. This will help us open our crust, so it's not a pain in the ass burgers to open. I'm gonna give it a good whack on the counter here, so that way it opens up a bit. There we go. Once you get it to that point, it pretty much just comes open right after that. Now that we got it open, we're going to find that sweet spot and we're going to unroll it. I'm not going to worry about forming it just yet. I want to be more focused on just getting the ingredients on there before you wrap it. So pay attention, because this is where the calzone happens. To start this delicious calzone, this prank hot sauce, I haven't touched it. Nope, not having it. Okay, we got the Jif peanut butter. I'm gonna put this in the middle as our sauce. Making a candy calzone. Pay attention, YouTube, because dankness is on the way. Pay attention, YouTube, because it's going to get good. I'll take you through step by step on how to make this hot pocket of wonder. I'm going to smear. Now the middle of our so-called calzone, we're going to want to smear on and spread out that peanut butter. Everything else around it's going to be dough, and we want just enough dough on top to, you know what I'm saying, to cover the top of the calzone when we go to fold the bread over the ingredients. That's the oven letting us know that the preheat is done. Thank you, oven. Doing things the old-fashioned way. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't need some stinking smartphone to push a couple of buttons. People have become so fucking lazy. They're like, hey Siri, could you set the oven for blah 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 blah. Okay, if you're gonna do something and bake and whatever the case may be, it doesn't take but about 2 seconds to set that shit. So technology is cool. It helps a lot of things progress, but at the same time, I also feel like it makes people more lazy. I mean, you got these self-stirring coffee mugs. Okay, so if you got arthritis, you want a nice hot cup of tea, and you can't stir it because of your wrists. I get that. You know, technology for a purpose, it serves a purpose, but if the only purpose it serves is to make you more lazy, it just seems counterproductive. This fork is covered in peanut butter. I want to lick it clean because I can. Mmm. I'm going to put the peanut butter away and wash that fork off. That creamy peanut butter is a nice touch. But, hold on a second. Watch out. As you can see, I washed the fork off. And this is what our crust looks like prior to becoming a calzone. We got enough dough all the way around to fold this into a calzone. There's the center of it with all that gooey, delicious, creamy goodness. Now the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna add some brown sugar to that peanut butter. You should be familiar with this process. Very similar to the Elvis Presley pizza and the caramel corn burger. Very similar process. You take a nice little handful here and we're going to add a little bit of brown sugar to the top of our peanut butter because why the fuck not? That's just enough brown sugar. I'm going to kind of take my clean washed hands and spread and kind of mix the brown sugar in with the peanut butter. Beautiful. Oh, that looks beautiful, YouTube. Let me wash the brown sugar off my hands and I'll get right back to you. Alright, so taking you step by step on this journey, that's what it's looking like right there with the brown sugar and the peanut butter. Now the next step is going to be to add some bananas to it. So we got some delicious banana right here. Grab a nice clean fork. That wasn't banana, that was just peel. Get off of there. Now we're going to begin the process of stuffing our calzone. Take this fork and some of you might say, well, wouldn't it be better to deep fry the bananas in some bacon grease? That would be pretty swinging, but that would take a little extra time. And this candy calzone is going to take a minute to make anyways. So making something delicious, not exactly nutritious, something you just kind of throw together. And right now I'm just taking the fork and I'm slicing the chunks of banana on top of the brown sugar. Well, you might actually be able to use the full banana just about on this. Kind of make sure that we have enough banana mixed in with the brown sugar and the peanut butter. Got just about that much banana left right there. I'm gonna eat that. Clean fork in the sink. Alright, so if you've gotten to this point, you're doing good. Next, we're gonna add some of the fun stuff to this to make it more sort of a candy calzone. Yeah. We got a nice big fat bag of mozzarella cheese. We don't need all of it, just enough to give our calzone some cheesy goodness. My hands are quite slippery from cutting the banana. Yeah, there we go. I managed to get some of it opened. Okay, that's not quite how I intended to open my cheese. The seal is still intact, but I'm not going to trip out about it because it got the cheese open at least. And it's all going on all my recipes anyway, so chances are it's going to get used up. Yeah. Now I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some delicious mozzarella cheese on top of our bananas. Okay, now that we got a nice layer of cheese, set that down for a second. Take a look at this now that we've sprinkled cheese all over on top of the bananas. Yeah, buddy. Now we're gonna take our delicious bacon and that's fully cooked, and we're gonna break it up on top of the melted cheese. Some of you may think, what in the actual flying fuck is wrong with this autistic bastard? Why would you put these things into a calzone? You sick fucking bastard. What the hell's wrong with you? Some of you may think, you know what? That looks interesting. I'd try it. Like I said, it don't matter. We all have our own opinions. I want to sit here and put some of that bacon on top of that cheese. Yes, please. All that bacon we cooked up earlier. Want to put it on top of the cheese. Nice thing about the oven being preheated is that by the time we stick this in the baker, it'll be ready to go. Now we're going to need about maybe 2-3 more ingredients for this to work. Some pepperonis, some chocolate, and some more cheese. Wait, what? Did he say he was putting chocolate in this? No. 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 This... Greasy plate in the sink. No, this mother trucker is not putting chocolate and pepperonis and more pizza and more cheese on top of this. Got my words twisted. That's what we're working with so far. Look at that. It's deliciousness. You're thinking to yourself, no, there's no way. Oh yeah, we're doing this, YouTube. We are fucking doing this. We are so totally doing this. Candy calzone. Oh yeah, we were so totally doing this. You wanted weird ass food for YouTube, something that just looks so gross. Like, why the would I try that? Sitting there, this sick bastard, what the hell is he doing? You wanted a crazy ass pizza pocket, something to keep you watching, like, what's he gonna do next? The is he gonna do next? Well, I got you, YouTube. You trust and believe I got you. You know, like 3 more pepperonis. Yeah, 4 more is a perfect amount. Beautiful. Now, we're going to need some of these, of course. But take a look at that. The pepperoni on top. Now, what I want to do is I want to squish this down a little bit. Just kind of flatten it so that way we can make room for folding the top over and everything. Got a little bit of peanut butter on the side of my hand from doing that, but that's all right. That's all right. Now, to make this candy calzone, we're going to add some chocolate to that so that it counterbalances with the peanut butter. These are Cella's chocolate-covered cinnamon cherries. The cinnamon will complement the brown sugar, and the chocolate will complement the peanut butter. That's at least the idea. Again, I have no idea how these are going to taste. This is just, you know, just seeing how it'll do. There we go. I think 10 will be enough for this recipe. So I got the trash can next to me. We'll go ahead and intricately place these frozen chocolates on top of our pepperoni. No baloney. This is legitly a candy calzone. Again, I have no idea how this is going to taste. That's the fun of experimenting with cooking, is, you know, you try it and, you know, maybe it tastes good, maybe it don't. But my hope is that this will taste good. And some of these might take a little bit to unwrap, but you know what? I'll grab my trusty shotgun shell pocket knife. And maybe we can open these just a little bit faster so we're not wasting time. Yeah, there we go. considering that this chocolate will pretty much melt in a puddle on top of the pepperoni and the cheese, I may add more to this, see how it looks with just these 10. Yeah, there's another one. Like, why on God's green earth would you put chocolate in a calzone? Because we're shaking the boundaries, YouTube. We are shaking the boundaries of cooking and trying something that's never been done before. Okay, there we go. Get all the tin foil off the chocolate. There we go. I'm liking the way this is looking. This is looking quite nice, YouTube. Looking like some crazy ass shit you'd eat at a random party, like some soul food / junk food that you know you shouldn't be eating, but at the same time you don't give a fuck because it tastes that good. That's what it's looking like. I might add like 4 more to this to kind of even things out. Which that'll give me 4 more left in the top case. That works out beautifully. And just kind of a couple more to kind of lay along the back side here. Not that it matters much because this chocolate's all gonna puddle in the middle. I kind of figured it'll look nicer on camera if you're making it. Some of these chocolates are going to be a wee bit frozen. We should make peeling them a little bit easier. Now for 18 minutes, I think the chocolate's going to get a little gooey and it's going to melt in the middle. And these chocolates are ice cold, so this will make putting them on top of our pizza / calzone, whatever you want to call it, a little bit easier. I mean, I don't know what else you'd call it, a candy calzone. That just seems appropriate considering that I'm putting chocolate covered cherries on the inside of a calzone. I mean, who does this kind of shit? Who do you think? We're challenging the norm here. People say you're not supposed to put chocolate into a calzone. I say I disagree with that. I say why not? There's the third one. And now we're going to take this last one that we pulled out here and place it on top. Oh, that's coming apart beautifully. The fourth one is coming right out. Awesome sauce. Now, getting all of the chocolate covered cherries placed on the middle is a bit of an inconvenient pain in the ass, but it'll produce for a better quality product. So about 2 of them broke while doing this process, which is just fine because they're all gonna melt in the middle anyways. But there's the top of that. Gonna make sure they're more centered here, so that way you get a nice chocolate consistency in the center. Okay, it's looking beautiful. Now we're gonna add some more cheese to the top of that and kind of squish it down, fold it, place it in the oven. We're down to the last 3 steps here, YouTube. It's about to get good. So that mozzarella cheese that we used on the bottom, we're gonna use it on the top. And we're gonna place the cheese on top of the chocolate. Yes, please. This is a very tricky and intricate recipe, but well, we'll see how it do. I bet you it's gonna taste delicious. Just enough cheese to cover the top of the chocolate there a little bit. Beautiful. Just like that. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm gonna put a sprinkle of brown sugar on top of that cheese and then fold it. See how it do. Kind of squish this down just a little bit. There we go. And just a small handful of brown sugar will do for the top of this cheese. You don't need a whole lot. That'll get nice and gooey with the cheese when it melts. Dankness is just about to be stirred upon us, YouTube. Again, I have no idea how this is gonna taste, but this is as crazy and as weird as it gets. Okay, there's the center for our calzone. Let's see if we can't fold it. And the important thing when making a calzone is to make sure all of your ingredients are tucked into one beautiful ball. You want to take all of your ingredients, in your calzone, and you want to tuck it into the middle of your pizza dough. You want to make sure that all of your ingredients or in one convenient location. This is definitely pushing the thin crust to the limit, but it's looking pretty good. I'm liking the way this is looking. Look how all that dough rolled up. When you tuck all the ingredients to the inside of the dough, just like that, that is beautiful. Now what I want to do is I want to put the cheese away, put a little bit of brown sugar on top of that crust, and put it in the oven. Before I put the brown sugar on top, when I put the cheese away, look at that. I can keep it fresh even with the way it's opened. It could be worse, tubes. Remember that. So now I'm going to take a sprinkle of that brown sugar. Let it caramelize on the top of our calzone. Just a pinch of brown sugar on top of our delicious candy calzone. Now with all the cheese in the middle, yeah, buddy. Go ahead and sprinkle just a little bit of that brown sugar on top. Kind of pack it down so that it glistens the top of it. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. YouTube, that is beautiful. Let me just show you what's beautiful about this calzone. Take a look at that. Those, yes sir, I got a bag of Doritos Flamin' Hot Nacho Chips. I'll be doing a review on these chips later on. But for now, we're focused on making this delicious candy calzone. I got all the cheese and everything rolled up into a nice ball of dough. That's definitely stretching it to the limit. You don't want to pack your ingredients too fat just because you'll run out of room for the dough to hold everything in. But you take a look at that, and we have all that brown sugar on top to caramelize and sweeten the outside of it a bit. Oh, when curiosity kills the cat. Just kidding. No, but on the real note, let's get this bitch in the oven. That's exactly why I hit the button to 19, because by the time I got the calzone in the oven and closed it, 18 minutes on the dot. That's exactly why I pushed the button to 19, so that by the time I got the calzone in the oven, it would be a full 18 minutes. And now we're gonna wait, oh so patiently, YouTube. I'm getting that response video uploaded as we speak. As soon as that response video is done uploading, this cooking video is going to take a little bit longer to upload, so the response video will upload before the cooking video. I'm going to get my phone on the charger while I wait for it to bake. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to taste, but you saw all the ingredients I put into it. I got my phone on the charger. See, sometimes in life I could have freaked out because I opened the cheese wrong, but what good is that? I can still store it fresh and at least it's open. So it's a different way of opening the cheese, I guess. That's one way to look at it. So I guess while I wait for that delicious calzone to bake up, smoke a Marlboro NXT and chill for a minute. Like I said, if you're on a diet trying to lose weight, don't watch cooking videos like this, because this is straight up junk food and a half. People are going to be like, how the fuck are you not morbidly obese with the shit that you come up with? I don't eat it all the time, and I have a high metabolism. Having a high metabolism and not eating junk like this all the time, yeah. We got chocolate, we got banana, we got peanut butter, we got all kinds of goodness going into this particular calzone. I've already drinking like 2 monsters. I don't need to drink 2 more. I'm good for now. Got to be responsible with those things. I'll more than likely grab a glass of water when this calzone is done baking. Right now I got my phone propped up on the copper cup. Just enough cheese on top of that chocolate. Now when I take it out of the oven, I'm going to let it cool off for a second before I cut it in half. That way it doesn't just ooze out the middle, because that's exactly what's going to happen as soon as I cut into it. The pizza cutter that I have is a standard household pizza cutter. It's not meant for industrial restaurant use. It's strictly just a little cutter for household use. It doesn't make it a mini cutter, of course. By some people's standards, it might be a mini cutter just because some people are used to working in a pizza chain, you know what I'm saying. And if you're in a pizza chain where you're required to cut a pizza as quick as possible, your pizza cutter might be a little bit bigger. No, what I consider a mini pizza cutter is if it was smaller than the one that I have, you know. But there's no sense in arguing about it because that just seems like a stupid argument. A glorious calzone to kick off Valentine's Day season and, of course, a new batch of wands. I have a feeling that chocolate's gonna melt in the middle with all that cheese and peanut butter and banana goodness. And I have a feeling that what I've just concocted is something glorious. Junk food / soul food. You know, you're gonna feel so bad eating it, but it's gonna taste so good. The kind of dish where you don't give a fuck if it's high calorie. People love getting chocolate cherries on Valentine's Day, so why not step it up to the next level? Creating soul food and junk food that you and your girlfriend can eat. Yeah. And you don't have to have a girlfriend or a boyfriend on Valentine's Day to enjoy this delicious treat. This is something that can be made at home pretty quickly. You saw how quick it took me to assemble it. That's real time. A lot of YouTubers speed things up or cut scenes, and I'm like, nope, that's not how I do. That's how you do it right there. Now, the Cella's chocolate covered cherries have a hint of cinnamon on the aftertaste, so it's not overpowering. I have a feeling. Now, if you want to add beef to this recipe, you could. But the only reason I didn't is because I don't want to open up my new tube of beef just yet. For a new burger recipe, fuck yeah, I'd open it. But for saving room on the calzone and making so that it stuffs perfectly without making a huge mess, I figured, you know, by the time I got rolling that calzone, it was stretched kind of thin. You could see the ingredients poking through just a little bit, but not too much. So you don't want to overstuff your calzone, and at that point, it just becomes a sloppy mess. That calzone was stuffed to the limit with ingredients, and it's still folded with some crust on top. If you overstuff your calzone, it's not going to look pretty when you bake it. I mean, if it still tastes good, what does it matter if it looks pretty? But at the same time, you know, if you're cooking for a YouTube show, people expect you to come up, okay, you call it a calzone. If it's not stuffed in dough, then technically it's not a calzone, right? Yeah, exactly. At that point, it becomes a weird looking pizza if the crust tears when you go to stuff it. But that's stuffed beautifully, so now we're just going to wait patiently for it to get out of the oven. I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. I'm going to need oven mitts to take it out of the oven, of course. But here's the cooking video that's coming together very beautifully. The surfaces look clean. The ingredients I put into it look good. You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking. This is a bit more in-depth than dank nachos. I'm very anxious to see what this will look like when it's done. Hopefully there's enough crust around the ingredients to make it a calzone. I'm going to check up on it real quick and see how it's doing. We got 10 minutes left. Oh, fuck yes. With 10 minutes left, it's looking good, YouTube. It's looking damn good. It's looking like a giant fucking Hot Pocket, like some big-ass calzone Hot Pocket looking thing. Oh yeah, this is doing exactly what I wanted it to do. Oh. And the smell coming off of that calzone is just magnificent. You got all the ingredients cooking together. This is food that you wouldn't want to eat like every day, but every once in a while you want to treat yourself to it. You know what I'm saying? This is how you make a goddamn calzone. It smells so good right now, YouTube. You don't even know. Now, if your date doesn't like bacon, then I wouldn't add it to it. But everything else on this looks pretty good. Yeah. This is junk food at its finest. The kind of calzone that just knocks it out of the park. I have a feeling that this is going to taste very good. I want to let it cool off a bit before I cut into it, which may take a little bit longer, but that's the realism and the rawness of a cooking video. I got 10 plus minutes left on this calzone, and I'm anxious to see what it looks like out of the oven. I'm gonna let it cool off, like I said. That way all the grease and the gristle and the melted goodness can settle a bit before I cut into it. If I cut into it fresh out of the oven, all that chocolate and peanut butter is just gonna come oozing out. And I want this to be a bit more together when I cut into it, so I'm gonna let it cool off. That way the chocolate and peanut butter have a chance to settle on top of that mushy gushy banana goodness. Now, the banana on the pizza was definitely a good call on the Elvis Presley pizza. All the stuff you saw on top of the pizza stone last time was just gristle and grease from the last pizza that I cooked, which definitely added a nice little bit of flavor to it. But generally speaking, that's how I like to start off my cooking videos, with a fresh pizza stone and a clean surface. It makes the cooking video look 10,000 times better. There's two. Oh wait, this lighter is still brand new. Yeah, no. Let's do this one. So if the ingredients in this calzone is something that you and your girlfriend enjoy, then you can't go wrong with cooking this. I have a feeling this is going to be super fucking dank. Yeah, man. I literally spent $34 on groceries, but it was worth it. So bloody worth it. This will give me food for the next couple of days while I work on my batch of wands. And this allows me to post at least 2 new cooking videos to the channel, one of which being the one I'm making right now, candy calzone. That's no bullshit. I could have poured a little bit of bacon grease in the middle of that mess, but that might have been a bit excessive. I think the calorie count was high enough without pouring bacon grease in the middle of it. That would be the only way I could have seen, amping it up to the next level. But everything on that thus far looked pretty good, and it was good enough, Artery clogging delicious goodness. That's what we're making here. All that cheese and that chocolate and that peanut butter is going to melt in the middle. And you got bacon and pepperoni, 2 meats, simple, short, sweet, and to the point. Yeah, buddy. Normally I wouldn't stay up this late. It's like 9:14. Usually by 11 o'clock I'm passed out, but it's the weekend, so we can stay up a little bit later to make a dank ass calzone. Yeah. After them 2 monsters I drank earlier, I'm feeling pretty good. I can save the other 2 for tomorrow, or drink 1 tomorrow and then drink 1 the next day, which is more likely what's going to happen. I don't go ham on the monster like I used to, That's just not very smart. Oh man, that calzone is smelling so fucking good. Pardon my French, but now at this point, it's just bullshitting with you on the video and talking with you until it's done. The candy calzone, as featured by King Cobra JFS. I suppose if you wanted to make this food for the Super Bowl party that you were hosting, you could. I don't see why not. People like the ingredients that are being put into it, I make these unhealthy monstrosities for your sick entertainment. You're thinking there's no fucking way he put this into this sick bastard. What the hell's... Oh, okay, right on. The goal for this calzone is to have everything complement each other on the taste. And I think the ingredients I put on this is just perfect. I think everything will complement each other beautifully. I don't know until I've tried it, but check up on it real quick. I got 2 minutes left. Let me peek at it. Oh, yes. I gotta take a bloody piss and wash my hands. I drank a lot of Monster and a little bit of alcohol. This is not the most pleasant part of the video, but you know what? These haters can piss off. I made a beautiful calzone. 2 minutes left. It's looking good. It's smelling good. Got some soap in the kitchen. I can wash my hands right quick. 52 seconds left on this delicious calzone. YouTube. "52 seconds. Let me dry my hands after washing them with some soap. These goddamn trolls can piss off because I just made another dank-ass cooking video. Keep the camera rolling. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, now that we're done baking our delicious calzone, let's grab our oven mitts and place it on the counter to cool off before we cut into it. Alright, grab our oven mitts. Groovy, baby. Oh yeah, the smell of this is just beautiful. Look at that calzone, YouTube. The crust came out perfect. And this is why I said you want to be careful stuffing your calzone, because part of the crust started to break open just a little bit right there. Everywhere else is pretty much intact. So that little tear in the crust is bound to happen, as it is a thin crust. But there's the calzone fresh out of the oven. I'll let that cool off a bit before I cut into it. Beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my phone again. Now that I got my phone plugged in, I'm gonna grab a cup of water. Let that calzone cool off a bit before we cut into it. And I'll show you a close-up of the cut it when I cut into it. But that little tear didn't go all the way through, just a little chunk on the surface, which is good. So right now the calzone's out of the oven. It looks good. Let it cool off a bit so it's not just gushing everywhere. Let all the grease from the bacon and everything settle. That way it's not squirting everywhere like a humongous, disgusting mess. We want to be able to eat this like it would be a regular calzone, so without it spilling out of the bread. Thus far, I'm very happy with the way that turned out, YouTube. That little tear is not that big of a deal. It didn't go all the way through to the bottom, which is bound to happen, which is why I said you don't want to overstuff your calzone when you're making one. Yeah, I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back. Candy calzone. I definitely come up with some interesting concoctions on YouTube. And when they're just weird enough that I think it might spark a little interest in the general public, I'll post it on YouTube. If you like these weird-ass recipes that I come up with, please subscribe for more. It's greatly appreciated and it greatly helps out. Also, if you like cooking videos, please subscribe for more. Because it's only going to get danker from this point. Oh man, the smell from that calzone fresh out of the oven. It's a very sweet and pleasant smell. I'm not gonna lie, that calzone looked and smelled amazing, so I have no idea how it's gonna taste, but I bet you it'll taste good. You can cut it up into 4 serving slices or just 2 big ass halves. And yeah. I'm gonna cut it into 4 serving slices. And I'll do that after it's done cooling off. That way it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't just gush everywhere and make a humongous mess on the pizza stone. This will make cleaning the pizza stone a little bit easier. Hopefully it tastes good. I know chocolate, peanut butter, and banana taste good mixed together. I know cheese and pepperoni taste good mixed together. It's classic pizza. This is taking calzone to a whole new level and thinking outside the normal realm, if you will. Though a calzone has to have tomato sauce and this and that. It can have those things, or you can shake things up a bit by doing what I did just now. And this video is like an hour and 14 plus minutes long, but that's real time. And like I said, the cooking videos take a lot longer to upload, but they're always well received. So people on YouTube are like, more cooking videos. Got you. I want to grab another glass of water, smoke a cigarette. I'm gonna grab another glass of water, smoke a cigarette, and let this shit cool off for a bit more, and then we'll cut into this calzone and see how we're doing. But right now, this calzone's looking and smelling delicious. Most excellent YouTube. There's definitely a little bit of grease piling beneath the calzone from all the ingredients put onto it. This is another reason why I'm avoiding cutting into it just yet, so that way, you know, I don't just completely make a huge mess trying to cut it into decent serving slices and make a huge ass mess all over my pizza stone, you know. Thinking ahead can save people a lot of time. Thing about common sense, it doesn't cost you 2 cents to have. Everyone's got their 2 cents. That's just how it is. Right, I'm not gonna lie right now, that calzone's looking pretty good. The recipe looks like it was a blooming success. Candy calzone. Last NXT in the pack, but you already know how we stack. Delicious ass calzone coming at you like a heart attack. We'll let this biatch cool off for a bit longer and then we'll cut into it. Got the window open so it doesn't just fog out my apartment. As good as that calzone smells though. Yeah. They call it a calzone because when you eat it, you're gonna feel like a cow. You're gonna feel like a goddamn cow after eating it. Just kidding. See what I did there? I made a joke about how unhealthy this is gonna be. Hardy har har. All jokes aside though, this may end up being super dank. I literally showed you step by step how to make this. So that way, you don't skip a beat when you're making it. The response video is about 68% uploaded. It'll be uploaded to YouTube in about 43 minutes or less. So like I said, in the process of making this cooking video, that response video is going to upload first, which is fine by my standards. That calzone looks and smells so good. I can't wait to cut into it and try a slice of it. But like I said, I'm letting it settle first before I cut into it. That way it doesn't just come spilling out all at once. Because I have a feeling that chocolate and that peanut butter are going to melt together. Junk food to the max. I make these crazy recipes just because, you know, people want to see me eat weird, disgustingly unhealthy shit. And I use the word shit loosely, not saying it's actual shit. I'm just saying, you know, people want to see me eat disgustingly unhealthy things on YouTube, so I'm like, okay, I'll give them what they want. I don't even want to think about the calories that are in this right now. All I know is that it's either going to taste really good or taste really weird, one of the two. But I'm betting it's going to taste pretty good. At this point, that cooking video came together so beautifully that I feel like it's gonna be good. I'll cut it into 4 slices and we'll see how it do. Serve up a slice right quick and give it a try. At this point, the curiosity's got to be killing you. What the fuck does it taste like? Is it gonna be good? Well, I guess we'll find out, won't we? Giving it some time to cool off will make cutting it a little bit easier, I think. Especially with all the cheese in the middle, it's going to make it extra gooey. The cigarette's almost done, and we're about ready to cut into it, son. Yeah. The cigarette's done. Let's squizzle this water. It's good to drink plenty of water when you're drinking alcohol. If you're drinking alcohol, be sure to drink plenty of water. That way you avoid the hangover the next day, and it helps the alcohol process. Go ahead and unplug it. Alright. Go into the kitchen and we pull out a pizza cutter, which I just washed. You can definitely see all the grease on the bottom of this, kind of pouring off onto the counter here, right there on the bottom. Oh yeah, this is gonna be interesting to say the least. Go ahead and set the camera down. I want to get you nice and close to that cut up action. I might need to use both hands for this. Now that it's cooled off a bit, I can use my other hand. Cut this beast in half. Cut it into 4 serving slices here. There we go. Made a massive mess of the pizza cutter. I want to go ahead and wash that off. Now that I got my pizza cutter all washed off, we'll set it in the dish rack to dry. Now I've gotten this calzone cut into 4 serving slices instead of just 2 big ass halves. I'm gonna put some on a plate and we'll give this give this crazy calzone a try. I'm not gonna lie, YouTube, this calzone does smell pretty damn good. Now that the stove is cooled off, we can put the pan back over here. Spatula in there. Just a little bit of grease right there from where the spatula was sitting. The little spot where the spatula was leaning. There we go. Make sure our grease is all cleaned up. Yeah, the stove is like 95% clean, which makes cleanup a little bit easier. Right off the bat, the chocolate definitely did exactly what I wanted it to do. It melted in the middle. All that cherry juice. All that delicious cherry juice. All the goo and the gunk from the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up. Go like that. There we go. Still fresh and out of the oven right there with that. Set that right there for now. Okay, so the rest of this is going in the fridge. Although there's a lot of grease on this, so I don't want to just set it in the fridge when it's all covered in grease. So I'm going to clean some of the grease off the pizza stone here. I'll leave some of the grease on there for it to sit in. That keeps it, that'll keep it delicious. Just taking the grease, wiping it off, and then kind of shaking it into the trash can, kind of just like that. Not dropping it in, just kind of, you know. That's how you know it's going to be a good pizza. Calzone, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Just trying to minimize the mess here, folks. Alright, so we'll take the rest of this calzone. We'll set it in the fridge for later. We'll take all the grease off the bottom of it here and kind of wipe my finger around it. That way. There we go. That way when I set it in the fridge, it's not getting grease all over the bottom of it. Okay. Now before we get into this delicious pizza, there is a little bit of grease on our cutting board. So it's good to always clean up your mess when you're done cooking to a degree, so that way when you do officially decide and officially clean it up, it's not going to take you that long to clean up the aftermath. So if you clean just a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and wring this cloth out. You clean just a little bit as you go when you're cooking. It'll make the cleanup in the end less stressful. Go ahead and wipe this counter off. There we go. wipe off the cutting board. There we go. That looks really good. A little bit more grease to wipe off on the stove, but that looks good. Rightio then. Here's our clean surface. We're ready for another recipe. Here's our calzone in the fridge. Oh, there's a little bit of mess right there. That's easy to clean up. And that kind of thing's gonna happen when you're cooking. You know what I'm saying? Cooking is not necessarily without mess. You're gonna make a mess when you cook and clean. Well, I mean, when you clean, you're not gonna make a mess, but when you cook, you're gonna make a mess. So, there we go. Try to be a little bit cleaner with my cooking videos. So now we got 2 slices of that calzone that we just made right there on the plate. What I'm going to do is plug the phone back in so that way we can continue to charge it while I make this cooking video. There we go. Had a bit of trouble plugging it into my charger, but now we got it. Awesome sauce. Now comes the moment of truth, which is, of course, trying the disaster that we've just made. Letting it cool off a bit, I'm able to pick it up as a slice, just like that. Let's go ahead and give it a bite. Holy fucking shit, that's good. Oh my God. That is just phenomenal. Here's a cross section of that inside of that calzone. Here's a cross section of that candy calzone. Oh, YouTube. Oh, that is just Flavor Town and a half. And letting it cool off a bit before I cut into it was definitely a good call. It didn't ooze out too bad when I cut into it. It didn't ooze out at all. The only thing you had was the grease from the ingredients at the bottom. But this candy calzone is so fucking good. I'm being brutally fucking honest here, man. This holy shit, dude. This was a good call. Everything on this just complements itself beautifully. That chocolate and that peanut butter melted together beautifully. Oh. Oh. Grabbing another slice was definitely a good call. That's so damn good, I want another slice of it. That's so delicious, I want another slice. So grabbing another slice was definitely a good call. Hell yeah. Mm. Oh my flipping God, that is good. YouTube, this calzone is swinging. Super sweet, super delicious, super packed with flavor. Oh man, that mozzarella cheese is the perfect cheese to use for this. There's another cross section of it. This is definitely a heart attack waiting to happen. You only live once. Try this recipe just once. If you don't like it, nah, that's cool. But if you do like it, you're welcome. A little bit of cheese pull. I tell you what, this is a damn good calzone. The flavor on this is just, yeah. I'm not just saying that because I made it. You know, this is legitly pretty good. I mean, after 2 slices of this, it's enough to fill me up. 1 slice would fill up a normal person just because of how rich and sweet and filling it is, but oh, mm. YouTube, this calzone, oh, it was made so beautifully and it tasted so good. The candy calzone, is it crazy enough for YouTube? Yes. Does it taste good? Yes. Is it extremely unhealthy? Oh yeah. Yeah, this right here. This is not the kind of food you want to be eating when you're on a diet. This right here is just high calorie goodness. Mm. Mm. Oh. Mm. Yeah, it was a little bit greasy, but letting it settle before I cut into it was definitely a good call. It made eating it a little bit less messy and more manageable. So instead of worrying about, oh, this is going to be a huge mess, you know. So definitely want to wait to cut into that. Let it cool off a bit before you cut into it. Definitely worth it. We take a look at the plate. It is clean. I'm going to go set this plate in the sink, wash it off, wash my hands. Oh. That just took calzone to a whole new level. That was like super fucking good. I'm not gonna mince words. That was dank as shit. Okay, that's the kind of crap like when you're smoking so much pot and you got like the munchies and you're like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? That's like stoner soul food right there. That's what that is. You know, that's just good shit right there. You cannot go wrong with something that good. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if you like these kinds of recipes, please subscribe for more cooking videos. It greatly helps out. hands are washed, plates washed. Dry my hands off. YouTube, that calzone was just phenomenal. If you like sweet, salty, savory, yep. I personally have no complaints on making that. This is that War Pig cigar that I was puffing on earlier. Have a nice fat stogie to accompany such a nice fat delicious calzone. The candy calzone. Yeah, that's delicious, dude. That's not exactly healthy, nutritious, but I'll tell you what, it's delicious. Mozzarella cheese actually works with chocolate and peanut butter. It's a nice mild cheese. It's not overpowering. It allows itself to complement the flavors nicely. Yeah, man. What's really good? This cooking video is literally almost 2 hours, but that's real time. This recipe requires a lot more steps. You gotta move a lot more quickly if you want to get it done super fast, but I guarantee you, you're craving something sugary, salty, sweet, and just downright unhealthy, that's the way to do it, man. That's how you make a candy calzone. You gotta incorporate sweet, and you gotta incorporate pizza into the same sort of category. Yeah. I'm sure that would have been just as fantastic if I would have deep fried the bananas in bacon grease and added some beef to the middle of it, but I'm content with just that. That was pretty good. Now you're going to be asking yourself, what's next on the YouTube channel? Well, I'll be attempting that same recipe only in burger form. So if you want to see me make a bacon cheeseburger with those same ingredients basically, then stay tuned on the channel for my next cooking video. Probably the healthiest thing of that recipe was the cheese and the bread and the protein from the bacon. Everything else was just straight calories. And only I would come up with something that random and weird. But yeah, if you like the cooking videos, please subscribe for more. It's greatly appreciated. If you think that looks pretty good, I just showed you how to make it. It's easy as piss. and it tastes so goddamn good. That first bite I took, it was like, what am I tasting? But a foodgasm. Yeah. Anyways, tubes, thank you for watching this delicious cooking video. Before I go, I'll grab a couple of drinks of water and leave you with it. Yeah, birds. Or at least one more glass of water to wash that down, because, yeah, that turned out exactly the way I wanted it. I'm sure the cheese would have been a bit more pulley if I hadn't let it cool off, but the cheese wasn't as pulley because I let it cool off. But the plus side is it didn't just ooze out the center as soon as I cut into it. It actually stayed in place. So, pro and a con to it, I suppose. But chocolate covered cherries and a calzone. What is this autistic bastard up to? I mean, to be fair, I got a little bit drunk and said, you know what, this sounds kind of good. Throw it together and boom. I say a little bit because the vodka I drank was enough to get a good buzz going, but it didn't get me stupid drunk, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyways, this is King Cobra JFS back at you with another dank-ass cooking video. Smoking a nice fat cigar after a nice fat delicious calzone. Granted, I didn't eat all of it. I can save some of it for later, but yeah, that was pretty tasty, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, thank you for watching my cooking video. And like I said, if you think the recipe looks good, give it a try. You saw how easy it was to make. You definitely can't go wrong with some delicious, crazy junk food, because that's exactly what that was, man. Like I said, if you're on a diet or trying to lose weight, don't watch this video, because I guarantee you, whether you're trying to lose weight or not, that calzone's gonna make you hungry. Let's get out there, get your munch on, you know. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you cool cobras on the flip side.